Good afternoon. So I'm just topping up my foam pads on a roll because we're going to be using them for this project. So I'm just getting those all topped up in my little pot, ready. So just wait for a few of you to come in. Let's just, there we go. I'm just going to go on this device just to see who we've got. Give me a thumbs up. Let me just make sure. Oh, I've got my volume off. Right, I think you can hear me. Hi, Jackie. Let's just push that back in there. How are we all doing? The weather has been glorious. Hi, Avril. I'm not getting all the comments up, but then we've got another Jackie in the house. And we've got Jacqueline. Francine, we've got. That's right, I'm trying to read them off there. I should I? How are we all anyway? Are we all okay? It's nice to have a bit of sunshine, isn't it? Get the washing out on the washing line for a change rather than having all the airers up. Still a bit nippy, hence the polar neck. But good to see the sunshine, which is great. Hi, Wendy. And if you're newbies to watching, I know last week we had quite a few newbies that tuned in. You know, do just leave a little comment saying you're a newbie, because we'd love to welcome you to the Pink Frog family. So you know that we do a live on a Monday and Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. I do Wednesdays and the lovely Claire does Mondays. Okay, so it's all right. I've just been topping up my foam on a roll, ready for today's project. So I like to keep it in its big pack and then tear some off as I go. Who else does that? Anybody else do that? I don't like to take it straight off my large roll. So let me pop that over to one side. So I'm going to be working today with 15 by 42 card blanks. But let me tell you about some lovely giveaways. You can see my thing here. Some lovely giveaways and offers and things that we've been having. So you may have seen that Pink Frog's Inspirations has gone over its 5,000 members, which is brilliant news. And that's all down to you guys sharing the love for Pink Frog, which is brilliant. So what we're going to do for March is we're doing a giveaway. So if you purchased in March, you're already in the draw. So don't worry. If you haven't yet purchased, if you make a purchase in March to Pink Frog, doesn't matter how big or small, there's no stipulations in that whatsoever. Just need to make a purchase before the end of March, and then all purchases through March are going to go into a prize draw, and we're doing 4 giveaways. So up for grabs are 4 e-vouchers for £25 each. So that means by an e-voucher, you'll get a voucher as an email, and you can spend it when you shop online. Or if you prefer to call Pink Frog and shop with them over the phone, you can do that as well. But there's 4 £25 gift vouchers up for grabs. So that is the first really bit of good news. Today we also have 20%. Well, I say today. This offer goes on until the 31st of March. So it's 20% off your 10.5 by 30 card blanks. So when we talk about 10.5 by 30 card blanks, we're talking about C6, or in old money, 6 by 4s. Okay, so we're talking about that size card blank. All right, and I'm going to talk a little bit about folds today as well. Now, another good deal. I had this one in the post from Pink Frog this week, so watch out. Bling alert. So you've also got... this is Cracker's price. This is Cracker's price. I had to do a double take on this one, so just watch out for this one. If you haven't had your email, check your inbox, because you need to get alert on this one. Let me take that out of the way. I'm going to do a turnaround and you're going to get a bling alert. Okay, so you're just going to see this for a minute. Wow, you're going to get 25 sheets of A4 mixed mirror and holographic card. Isn't it fabulous? So you're going to get 5 sheets of the opal holographic, which looks amazing. You're going to get 5 sheets of the gold mirror, rainbow mirror, rainbow gold. I'll get it right. Behave, Dawn. 5 sheets of the gold. Look at that. You can see my messy craft room. Look, I've really got to have a really big tidy up the craft room department. You've got 5 sheets as well of the, I think we're calling this one rainbow mirror. I'm just saying, thinking silver, but this is your rainbow mirror. Look at all those gorgeous colours. And again, look at that, 5 sheets of the rose gold. So you're getting all those. Now, normally, when we have them in a pack like this, they are £17. But until the 31st of August, so this is why I say stock up, they're going to be £10. So it works out at 40 pence a sheet. 40 pence a sheet. However, if you've signed up to the Pink Frog newsletter, you know you get 10% off anything on the Pink Frog website. That's going to bring it down again. So you're looking at less than 40p a sheet. So that is a really good saving at the moment. So do stock up on your bling if you've got a bit low after Christmas. I'll do another bling alert later on. Yes, that's to the 31st of March, Kimberly. We've also got 20% of Claire's favourite stamps, which are Perfect Peony and Foliage and More. So if you miss Claire's live on Monday, if you go to the Pink Frog website and look at Craft Alongs with Dawn and Claire, you can watch it back. It's on our Pink Frog YouTube channel. You can watch it there. Okay, so you can see what she did with those lovely stamps. And that offer is also on until the 31st of March. And don't forget, glue bottles and EVA bundle is still on, and that's on to the 31st of March. So there's a bundle deal if you get them all together, and you get free P&P with that as well. So fabulous. So I think that's all my housekeeping. So today I am going to be looking, let me pop that to one side there because I might refer to that in a minute. I am going to be looking at the 15 by 42s. That's probably back to front for you guys, but 15 by 42 cards. And we are going to make a beautiful easel card. So this could be for Easter. It could be for Mother's Day. You could take the little bunny out. Where is the bunny? That side. You could have that as a wedding card. If you just did it in a different colour. This is the nice thing about it. You can do this in lots of different colours. Now, if you buy the 15x42 card blanks, you know with our card blanks that you get your crib sheet with all your card folds in them. The easel card I'm going to show you today is with a mat. So that isn't on your crib sheet. So I'm going to flip the camera around. So get your pens and paper ready, and I will walk you through the measurements for making one with the mat. So bear with while I just flip the camera and we will get started. So let me flip that round. Hope you can't see too much of my messy craft room. Been rather busy the last I'm going to keep it down quite low because we're going to be doing some small things with flowers later as well. So we're going to be doing some things like that now. So this is my storage from my 15x42, and again, if you missed that Facebook live on how to make your storage, you can always catch up with the craft alongs to see that as well. So we're going to do the easel card, but I'm doing an easel card with a mat. Okay, so that isn't actually on your crib sheet. But that's not a problem because I'm going to show you how to do it. That's what a craft along is all about. So I've chosen ivory cardstock. I know the camera's down quite low. It'll all come clear as we move on. But I want it quite low for what we're doing. But I did want to share this card fold with you. So I'm going to get the centimetre side. Let me move my double-sided tape. Oh, yeah, that's the other offer. Who's picked up their Pink Frog double-sided tape yet? Because that's on. I think that's been on an offer as well. I don't know whether that offer's still on, Kimberly. You might be able to enlighten me. I think we're all there, yeah. And also the repositionable tape's back in, which is good because I'm going to be using that today for my dies. So I've got my centimetre scoreboard. So to make an easel card with a mat, which is what this one is, it's got a mat on it, okay. It still folds nice and flat to go in your envelopes. So this would go in, if I'm right in thinking, your... Go on, shout it out for me, Kimberly. I think it's C5 envelope. Yes. Okay, so that would go in your C5 envelope. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at your crib sheet and you are going to do a card blank, which is a Z fold. Okay, so I'm going to go at 10.5. And I need 21, and I haven't got 21 on this scoreboard, so let me bring my other one in, which is typical. But actually, let's do it in our trimmer, because this is another way you can do it. You can always score in your trimmer. So if you don't have a scoreboard, I'm going to try and push it up my desk so you can see. So what I can do is put 21 centimetres in my trimmer, get rid of the blade. Take your score tool and run that along. So if you haven't got a scoreboard, you can use your trimmer. We do have some scoreboards as well on the website. I'm sure Kimberly will share with you. And I'm just going to use my bone folder. You know what I'm going to tell you out there. We need to have a nice burnish. Okay, so basically what we've done is we've made a Z fold card. Okay, as if you were doing a 15x42 card. But I'm going to turn it this way so then we can make it in to an easel. All right, but we're going to add another big mat. So the next thing you're going to do, I've cut some here already prepared. The next thing I've done is I've got myself a couple of mats. So let's measure these out for you. I've done this is that lovely light brown, the Pink Frog light brown. I've done a nice mat here of 15 by 21 centimetres. So this can go onto the front of my card blank. And I've cut another piece of that light brown card, and I've cut this one to 15 by, I want to say 10.5, and I'm right. So 15 centimetres by 10.5. So that's out of a coordinating colour. And then I've cut myself the light pink. Who is not in love with this gorgeous light pink? I've cut 2 mats of light pink for this project. And I know lots of you out there love your measurements, so let me give them to you. So your first mat of light pink is going to be 14 centimetres across. And this is by 20 centimetres. And then your next mat is going to be, let's go across first because I like to go across first, is 13 centimetres by 19 centimetres. So there's all your sort of measurements, if you like, to get you going. All right, so we've got all our pieces all laid out. I'm going to pop these to one side for now because I don't need those right at this moment. And I'm going to concentrate on my smaller of the two mats. So I'm going to take my smaller of the two mats, and I've got myself the oval dies. Now the oval dies are available again on the website. Kimberly will be able to steer you in the right direction if you can't see them. And I am also going to take, without knocking everything flying off here, my village scene die. So this is that gorgeous village scene die. Now I think this is a beautiful die because you can use this for so many occasions, christenings, weddings. I'm doing an Easter card here, but you could use it for any occasion. But the oval dies work really well with this because look, they frame it straight away, so you've got a beautiful frame. And I'm just thinking what size I'm going to go. I can't remember if I went up another size or not. No, I kept to that size frame. Okay, so if anybody's asking which size frame I have used, I'll just do a quick measurement across to give you an idea. These are the stitched die ovals. Okay, and this one is 9 centimeters across, so you know what size I've used. All right, so I'm going to start with the let's start with the larger one, I think. So larger mat, smaller mat. Okay, in fact, no, yes. So my larger mat is going to have my village scene, and my smaller mat is going to have my oval. Now, I could put my oval bang slap in the middle, but sometimes it's quite nice just to do a little bit of difference. So I'm going to pop it just across to my left and up a little bit to give me space to do my sort of blossoming flowers. So I'm going to go in with my repositionable tape. So this is the Scotch repositionable tape, and I know we have this back in stock at Pink Frog Towers. And this is brilliant tape because it doesn't mark, not even when you're cutting your mirror card, just to let you know. So we'll cut this one out without further ado. So I'm just going to pop that onto my cutting plates. I'm using Gemini here this afternoon, and I think we still have some Gemini plates in stock if anybody is after any. Okay, so that's another thing there. So, oh, it's nice to see there's lots of banter going on. I've just looked up at the screen. That's brilliant. So we've cut our oval, so we'll just slide that out really carefully. Now this is the repositionable tape, so can you see how easily it's coming away? This is the Scotch tape and doesn't leave any marks on your card. Now you're going to keep this oval because we're going to use that oval as part of our stopper. Okay, so I'm going to pop that to one side. Now the next bit I'm going to bring up is the background, and this is the village scene. Okay, so I've got it on my mat already. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to position my first layer on here, and then I know exactly where to put my village scene oval. So just laying it on, just making sure you're happy with the composure of where it is. Then if you lift that one out the way, pop your repositionable onto there, and then we can pass that through the die cutting machine. So we'll just put that through as well. So I just love this village scene die. I've used it a lot. You see me use it on Christmas cards as well. So it's a brilliant die to have in your arsenal. So Let's again just lift this off really carefully. Repositionable tape, you'll use it again and again. So I'm just going to put it on the mat because I've got some more die cutting to do for this card. And have I cut it upside down or not? Let me just check. So what happens with this one is you just push that back through. Can you see? So you've got that blank piece there at the back. And then just with my pokey tool, I'm going to just poke through the little windows and doors of the village. So this could be a summer's day village like today. It could be a winter wonderland village. You know, this is why it's a good one to have in your arsenal. And don't forget, if you've signed up to the Pink Frog newsletter, you get that extra 10% off as well. It's a good substantial size. The size of this is 7.5 centimetres across and stay there, about 11.5 centimetres high. So it's a nice substantial die to have in your arsenal. So let me pop that in my bin because I don't need that bit. So let's move these for a minute because I've got my background, I've got my top piece that's going to go on the foreground, and I want to have a little rabbit because I'm doing an Easter card. So here I have got that gorgeous rabbit, which is the cut out dies. So I've taken a little piece of pink that I've got here. This came out of my offcuts box. So that's where your offcut box always comes in handy for things like this. So let's tape this in position and die cut that out. I haven't taken mine. Can you see these tiny little pips here? I haven't cut those. Okay, but if you wanted to do it as a cut-in, you would trim that off. But don't use your best craft scissors. Use some metal clippers or an old pair of scissors. So we'll just die cut that out. And while we're here, she says, I need a little piece of ivory. Let me see if I've got a little piece over here that I had tucked away, because I've got pieces everywhere. I could use that piece. So I'll tell you what, let me pop that on there. And while I'm passing through, I'm going to also cut out. This is the lovely, oh, give me a name, Kimberly. Give me a name. I've got a sneaking suspicion it's, I want to say flower branch or blossom branch. I'll probably get the name wrong, so bear with. Kimberly will be at the rescue with fastest fingers first while I'm die cutting. So I'm sliding it under there. This isn't going to cut this. That's not a problem. But I want to cut this. So again, tape. Always worth doing, especially if you've got little scraps you don't want to have. A flower branch. It's called flower branch. Again, it's a nice go-to. So let's pop that through the machine as well while we're here. We'll do the 2-in-1 because we can. So we'll just bring that through. Oh, let's see what's happened here. There we go. Look, it's all happening. Let me move this out the way so you can see properly this gorgeous rabbit. So let me take off the backing. Okay, so this is our lovely rabbit. So the rabbit at the moment is done what we call, this is the cut out, because we've got that outer circle. If we did cut in, it wouldn't have the circle on it and it would still be attached to the main piece of the card. You would have again seen us use these in a Facebook Live. So do check out Facebook Lives if you've missed them. But I'm going to take my little snips and this little rabbit, and I'm going to be careful not to chop his ear off because I think he's quite cute for Easter. So let me just take that sharp angle off there. There we go. And I'm going to just cut his feet. Not hurting him. Don't panic. Don't panic. Okay. And there is my little rabbit. See, I could keep that circle for something else. You know what I'm like. And then I'm just going to remove my branch. I know a lot of you like to watch the craft along with a cuppa and then join in afterwards with your craft supplies when you've received them. So let's take out this lovely flower branch. Just perfect for this time of year, for blossoms or anything. Look at that. It's absolutely, I put it on the pink there, you can see it's gorgeous. So that's our flower branch. And I've cut out 3 of those for this card. So if you've got time and you want to cut out 3, just while I start putting some elements together. All right. So let's start just bringing this together a little bit. I'm going to take my rabbit first, actually. And I'm going to get, and I have got it here ready. There we go. I've just got some Distress ink in walnut. I'll pop that there so you can see. And I'm just going to give him a little dusting just around the edge, just so he stands out a little bit more on the card. So just a little dusting just around the edge, because we're doing a bit of pink on pink. But this would be nice for, say, a baby's first Easter, wouldn't it? You know, if you've got a little baby girl, it could be first Easter with a little rabbit on it. Beautiful. So I think that's quite enough. Can you see now how it stands out a little bit more against the pink? And while I'm here, what I've done on my blossoms is I've just done a little bit of dusting on the actual twig bit of the blossom, or the branch, I should say. Not too much. I've not gone heavy, keeping this nice and light. You know, if you were doing this for, say, a wedding card, something we've got coming up next week would be really nice, and just doing it in plain whites. I'll share with you later. So that is all I'm going to do on my blossoms. I have done 3 of those just to help me along. So let me start just gathering some of these pieces together. Where's my piece of card? There we go. So let's start off. So I've got my card blank that is going to go onto my easel. Let's just turn it that way. Well, it doesn't matter which way it turns, really. That's the beauty of the Pink Frog card. You never have to worry. So I'll tell you what, let's glue this, the whole thing down as we're going to do it. So that is our would-be Z-fold card. But we're going to turn it that way back in on itself. So it's going to be like this as an easel card. But to glue it, I'm going to flatten it down. And then I'm going to go in with my EVA. I could use my EVA. I could have used my double-sided tape. I could have used my tape runners. I know we've still got the Crafter's Companion tape runners, I think, haven't we, in stock as well, Kimberly? So we've still got those available if people like their tape runners. So I'm just going to put glue on that first piece. And then I'm taking my first mat, which was 15 by 21. And we're going to measure that up together. Okay, so we'll just put that on top of there. And you know what I'm going to tell you. Let's give that a little burnish. So can you see already the start of your easel? All right. But I'm going to make this a bit more 3D easel, because I did give you a little bit of a hint for those that were here really when we started really early, is we're going in with foam pads. We're going to use lots of foam pads today. So I've got my little village scene. So I'm going to put some foam pads around the edge of here. I could have used my foam on a roll as well. I think that might be, is that on a deal? We've got it on the website, so I know we've got it in stock if people prefer that. But I know a lot of you like the foam pads with the easy finger lift tape on them. Now you will notice I'm not going too near the actual piece I've die cut. I'm just going around the edge. Okay, I'm using the 25 by 12, I want to say. Kimberly will correct me on the size. I'm normally so good with measurements as well. I think I'm all measuremented out after the weekend. So these have got the little tab on them, which means it is literally as easy as that to pull them off. And I'm going to get one that's going to play out. There we go. That one's going to play out. So let's just pull that one off. There we are. Oh. I'm going to need my tweezers later on. It all will come clear. All right. So it's nice to do sometimes different cards to have that nice mantelpiece pleaser effect. This could be a christening card. So if anybody brought the lovely cross last week, to have the little village scene with the church and have the cross, that could be a nice christening or baptism card as well. So there's so many different ways these can be used. I ought to move my rubbish out of the way. It's not very good. My desk is looking a mess already. So let's move all that out of the way. So I'm going to lay this on here. So it's got that nice border around. So you've got the light brown with that lovely light pink. That just looks just classic together, doesn't it? Absolutely stunning. So the next element I'm going to use is the next layer on top, so it stands out. So again, going in with the foam pads. So around the edge, I'm not going too close to the edge because we don't want to see them, but just around the edge. Okay, so while I'm doing this, if you haven't already subscribed to the Pink Frog YouTube channel, please do, because Kimberly puts all the Facebook lives up there, so you'll know exactly where to find them if you've missed one at all. So there's no problem there. They're always in one place, that which is brilliant. So and also we've been putting up some of the shows that we used to do on TV. So if you want to recap on a project or a product you've got, you can do. So I want to put a piece here. So what I'm going to do is with my scissors, I'm going to just snip that one even narrower. And then that means that can go along the edge here. Oh, there we go. Pull that off, Dawn. And that one can go on the edge there. So can you see, just by snipping a little piece, you can make that work for you. I just think it's quite nice, rather than having it central, just having it off central sometimes gives it a totally different look. So let's just bring this along. I'll tell you what, these foam pads with the tape like this is so easy, isn't it? Now, if you were posting this and you thought, I don't want to do all the foam pads, you don't have to. Just glue it. Doesn't matter. This is where you can make the project your own. We're just giving you the idea and inspiration. And if you pop over to Pink Frog's Inspirations, which is where we've got all those wonderful subscribers now, or viewers, it means you can be part of a lovely group and share all your pink frog makes. So straight away you can see that lovely detail coming there. I've not glued any of this down. None of this is glued. Okay, so that is just nice and crisp and clean. But we're going to put our bunny in. And I'm going to poke him just down here on the corner. So we'll have him, where should we have him? About, I want to show a bit more of him, but then he's going to go over that. Oh, let's have him about there. So what I'm going to do with him is I'm just going to glue on this end. So again, you're keeping that movement in the card because it's not all stuck flat. So let's slide him in there. A little bit of glue there, that's fine. So that's our rabbit, our village scene, our card built up. So now we're going to start on the branches. So let me just clear the decks a little bit because I've got a bit of a mess going on here, people. Keep that bit for later and that bit for later. Let me put those oval dies here to one side. So we've got our lovely branch. Now we have been looking at flower dies over the last few weeks. I'm going to bring them back out here. So we've got all these wonderful sizes of the flower dies. Just take those leaf ones out of the way. They're brilliant as well, mind you. The lovely strip leaves as well. So we've got these lovely flowers. Now look at this one. Isn't it tiny? So we're going to use that one because I think that'll work really well on that branch. And I'm going to use this one as well. So I've got here, I think it's tiny and miniature. Kimberly will just let everybody know what we've used. So yeah, no problem at all. Yes, the foam pads I were using were the 12mm by 25mm by 2mm. So that's that smaller strip. We do the other ones that are 25 by 25, but I've used the smaller ones. So I've taken myself some of the Super Smooth. Okay, this is the 160 gram Super Smooth. And what I've done is I've just swiped across here with our lovely Lisa Halton interference inks. And I have used lemon candy. Okay, so I've just swiped my ink pad across on the Super Smooth. Now, I don't know whether it's going to show up. Right, if I open it up this way. So this is your Super Smooth 160. Okay, just nice quality Super Smooth cardstock. As soon as you add your interference inks, can you see what happens? You've got that beautiful shimmer on there. It's like pearlized. It's made it just look totally different. Okay, so that is going on there. So we've just given it another lease of life. I'm trying to get it in the right light. Just wish you could see it. But I've done 2 layers of this because with these dies, we can cut out several layers in one go. So I'm going to pop this one on there. I don't need the calyx part of the flower, but that's fine. I can go with that. I'm going to take these in position because I don't want them to move about on themselves. And we'll pass those now through our machine. Okay, so we'll pop those through. So they're just going through. Oh, where are we? So we just peel those off. And those ones. So I'm only wanting the round flower type on there. So where's my little pokey tool? So I'm going to just pop these out on my desk. Let's put this to one side and this to one side. You can tell when you're having a good crafty session when everything's all over your desk and you end up working in a little tight area. I'm sure you can all relate to that. So just popping those through. Now remember, we've done 2 layers of these. So we've now just got to part the paper. And this is where I might just bring the camera down a little bit more so you can see what's going on. And I'm hoping it's not gonna, there we are. So if you just sort of play with it with your nail, it will come, they will come apart. So you've got 2. So this means because you've got them on a strip, you can multi-cut in one go. But also, because we've cut 2 layers in one go, we can, she says, get them apart. And this one doesn't want to play ball. So we'll pick another one up. There we are. So we'll get those like that. Perhaps this was the single one that I was trying to part and it wasn't. It feels too thick. No, I don't think it is. It's this one. There we go. So I've got those ones done. And then you've got these teeny weeny. These are the miniature ones. And you're going to do the same with those. They are just lovely. Now we've looked at making flowers with them. Okay. But we're going to look at doing them in a different way this time. So I'm just laying a few of these out. Because you can use these for all sorts of things like card making, scrapbooking, your home decor. There's all sorts of occasions that you can use these. And then the other thing that I did not pick up was my orange pen. Let me just grab it. So I've just got an orange pen here, just an alcohol pen. And if you just do a little blob in the centre, it gives like a centre to a flower. Now I could have done these in pink to be sort of blossom. You know, this card would look lovely just all done in white as well, just white on white tone. So just even in the middle of those teeny weeny ones, I'm just putting a blob of orange because it just makes it stand out. Okay. There we go. I think that'll be enough. And then, just when you think you've had enough of all that, I'm going to find my black pen, which I put to one side. Oh, I've got one here. Just a black pen. And then you can put just a little black centre to it. Now, last week I did flowers similar to this and I put little tiny pearls in them, which again, you could quite easily do. But you need the little tiny weeny pearls for it. I'm hoping my big hands aren't getting in the way. So just with the, they're just doing a little dot in the middle. It's just making them so they don't look too flat. So if I put that one with that one, can you see by adding a little bit of orange and a little bit of black, perhaps not really, you can't see, but let me see if I can hold it up in my hand. Can you see? Let me go, where's the camera? That side. So this one is just the plain that we've inked, and then just by adding a little bit of orange and a little bit of black, it just brings it to life a little bit more. I'm hoping I'm not too close. Perhaps I'm a bit too close. I'll come down a little bit, but I just think it makes it stand out a little bit more. So now let's start building our little flower branch up. So let's have this one going. Oh, let's have this one going this way. So I'm going to go in this time with my really fine nozzle bottle. But if you've got your glue bottles, you've got both. So you haven't got to worry which one you've got. Okay. Oh, let's wipe that end off there. Make sure you wipe the end off your glue. Okay, so let me get my blue one, which is my finer nozzle. Okay, and to start with, I'm going to hold it this way because I can hold it. Doesn't matter. I'm going to hold the branch, and can you see where the flowers are on the branch? I'm just going to do just some little dots just around the centre of where the flower actually is. In fact, if I lay it on there, would that be better? I think people might see it a bit better that way, yes? So I'm just going to put some little dots of glue. Not doing the whole flower, I'm just doing around the whole of that, the circle of that flower. Okay, and then I'm going to get my tweezers. And I'm going to start off with the bigger ones to cover the flowers. And then just stick that in there. That one's got a black one on it, so that one can go onto there. And then picking up this one as well. And this is where everyone goes quiet and you hold your breath. Because it could all go horribly wrong. No, it won't. It won't go horribly wrong. It'll be absolutely fine. There's no wrong in crafting. There's just happy accidents, is what I say. Just happy accidents. So I'm going to pick another one of these big ones up and pop on there. Okay, so that's making, all of a sudden our branch now is starting to come to life. Now the next thing you can do with these flowers, if I show you that one, can you see how I've done the little leaves? Now this little trick is courtesy of Mrs. Pink Frog. So I can't take the kudos for this one, because this was Mrs. Pink Frog's idea. So I'm going to tip some of these out that I've already prepared to share with you. And what you do is you get your flower again. Let me hold it with my tweezers. Get your flower again. Get your special tiny little snips. And you're going to cut in to the flower. So this is going to create tiny little leaves for your tiny little flowers. Let's cut that last one that way. Ooh. And then let's tidy this last bit up because you've got the bit in the centre. So can you see you've got that tiny little leaf shape? So let's stick on a few of those. So pick on your branch. So say at the end here, let's put a little bit of glue just on here. And you could do this with the really tiny ones or the miniature ones. The miniature ones, the tiny, tiny ones. I always forget which way round they go with all the names. But it doesn't matter because they're all gorgeous. So can you see just by sticking those two leaves on the end, that's bringing that straight to life. So now pick up some of these others and I'll put a bit of glue on the end of this one this time. Then I can poke that one just under there. And it's just about filling in now, having some fun and filling in the elements. So you've got these little leaves. Let's have one on here and one on here. And when I was preparing the other branch the other day, I did have fun. I do find it quite relaxing when you're doing things like this. I don't know about anybody else. I know the lovely Sue that's joined us this afternoon, she loves doing her flowers. So I'm going to get my glue in. I'm going to do another little leaf. Did I put the glue there? I did put the glue there. I know I put the glue there, Dawn. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue just under that leaf. And then I can pick up one of these tiny little flowers, miniature ones, and put with it. And you're just going to go around building that up. You can put as many or as few as you wish. The choice is entirely yours. But it's just another way to use your flowers as petals. Okay, so it just gives another little twist. So you got to thank Mrs. Pink Frog for that idea. It wasn't my idea. So just a fabulous way of using them in a different way as well. So I'm going to bring that main card in now, and we're going to start adding some of these elements in, because I'm looking at the clock. So let's go round this way. So I've got one branch I've prepared here already. So that one can come down. I'm trying to think how I did it. I think I slotted it part of the way under. No, I slotted it just about there and added some flowers over it. So I'm going to put a bit of glue there and a bit of glue there. So not too much glue on there, because I'm liking the movement in this one. So a bit of glue there and there. And then what you can do, so you haven't got just an end, pick a couple of more flowers and leaves up and add in those just under there. It just finishes that part of the branch off. And then my other one, I'm going to poke, I'm going to have, I think, slightly under there. That needs a flower there, but we'll do that in a minute. So this time, again, glue on that end and under the branch. So this time, I'm poking this part of the branch under this first layer. Okay, so I'm going to poke that under there, and then that one can come up, just pressing on there. That needs a tiny flower. So let me put a bit of glue on there and see if I've got one with a black dot. I have here. Just pressing that down on there. That needs a little bit of glue under there as well. So let me pop a little bit of glue. See, with your fine nozzle bottles, it's so easy just to add that little element, which is perfect. So I think that is fine. Now to create your stopper. So with my stopper, I used, where's my pieces? I've got my spare piece that came from the middle, and then I've got my another piece at the back in there, if you remember. You remember we put the two on there together. I don't want to move my flowers too far, because let's bring this up here. That's perfect. Yes, I think I'm going to let's put the branch on there first. So let's just go on there with the branch. So I'm going to stick this down to start with. And I'm going to have this coming out, because I thought the stopper was a really nice place to pop a sentiment. It could be Happy Easter, it could be on your christening, it could be anything at all. And then we'll just put a few flowers on for now. just to cover over the top. I could have inked underneath the bottom of those as well, but just by popping those on and using the middle of my tweezers, it means they come in the right place. There we go. Pop that one in there. And the last one, I've got one more big one. That's handy. That can go in just there. So that's starting to bring that to life. And while I'm here, I've got time, haven't I? Just to put a couple of leaves on. Because I think having those little leaves like this, it's like the little buds that are coming out in the garden right now. I noticed my rose bush was starting to get buds on it. So that was quite nice. You know, spring isn't far away. And I've got my little daffodils. What the tiny little one, are they called? I want to say narcissus, but I could be wrong. Just in the garden. So just a few little leaves on there. Okay, so let's bring our card blank in and add our stopper for our easel. So I've made this quite simple. By having this piece here, it's going to go on there. So straight back in again with the foam pads. I could have used the bigger ones, but I've got these ones to hand, so that's fine. So straight on with the foam pads, because you need that stopper for your easel. So by cutting the stopper this size, it makes it easy. So if you haven't made an easel card before, and I know we have new crafters joining us all the time. Okay, so this is the same size as the card blank. So just pop that on there. And then I've got my, what I call secondary stopper. You don't have to always have a secondary stopper. I have. So I'm going to put a few of these on there. Now you know why I was getting my foam pads ready on the start of the live. So let me just recap on a few of the giveaways. So don't forget, if you purchase anything from the Pink Frog website in March, if you have already, or you do, you've got until the 31st of March, and there's 4 prizes up for grabs of £25 e-voucher for you to spend online on anything off the website. So that's going on, which is fabulous. If you haven't already subscribed to the Pink Frog YouTube channel, please do, because that's where you'll find all our lives. If you haven't subscribed to the Pink Frog newsletter, please do, because then you get all the special offers, and each month there is a new 10% discount code which gives you 10% off anything on the Pink Frog website, and this is 10% off any offers. So like, you know, the offer I was telling you earlier about, and I am going to be using this next Wednesday. Just a little bling alert, but I'm going to be using this next Wednesday. So you've got your rainbow mirror, you've got your rose gold, you've got your gold, you've got the rainbow gold, and you've got that Opal holographic. You've got 25 sheets of that. At the moment, special offer, £10. But use your 10% discount on top of that, and it brings it down even more. And I'm going to be using some of that on next Wednesday. So I'm going to twist the camera around. And while I'm here, I'm just going to show you, that's our finished card. All done. That could be for anything. That could be for Easter. It could be for christening. It could be for a wedding. Take the rabbit out. Could be for a wedding. Very easily be for a wedding. So if I hold the two up together, that's just crying out for the sentiment. And if you remember the other week, I had those lovely sentiments on there. So there you go. 2 easel cards. So that size of doing it with the mat isn't on your 15 by 42 card crib sheet. You know, the crib sheet you get in with all your card blanks. That's not in there. Don't forget your 20% off Claire's favourite stamp sets at the moment, which is the Perfect Peonies and Foliage and More. All these offers are going on until the 31st of March, so grab them. 20% off your 10.5 by 30 centimetre card blanks, which is your 6 by 4 roughly, your C6. What else have we got? Have I forgotten? Oh, glue and glue bottles. Don't forget. I haven't put my lid on my glue bottle. Oh dear, I'm going to get in trouble. Glue and glue bottles, glue and glue bottle bundles. Don't forget there's the discount on that with the free postage as well until the end of the month. So these offers, you can take your extra 10% off if you signed up to the Pink Frog newsletter. So don't forget. So I will be back with you next Wednesday. Okay, at 4 p.m. and Claire will be with you on Monday at 4 p.m. Don't forget to check out your email that comes through from the lovely Kimberly at Pink Frog, and she will give you all details of what we're doing. I'm still in the process of making cards, so once I've got mine made, I'll share them on social media when we've got them done. But I hope you enjoyed today's craft along, making some different Easter cards that would quite easily turn into other cards just by taking out your rabbit, changing the colour of your card, and it can be anything you want it to be. I'm Dawn from Pink Frog. Thank you very much for watching me and joining this afternoon. I hope I've inspired you to have a go. And if you've been sitting with a cuppa watching, you now can craft along by going to YouTube and watching this on YouTube. So I will see you next week. Bye for now.